Hello, I'm Nilza.
And I'm Emma.
And this is
Unnies
BL
Talk.
a BL podcast. Through this podcast, we'll take you through all of our thoughts on anything and everything BL related, our popular opinions, comment on your popular opinions, and everything in between. On today's episode, we'll be doing another one where we'll be focusing on one specific drama and just share our overall thoughts on it. This time around, it will be a drama that ended 2 weeks ago, last week. Cutie Pie the series, a drama that's been available on Mandy's YouTube channel for the past 2 months and a half or so, nearly 3, and it finally ended last week. And yeah, there was lots of good reactions overall. We'll just be going through our thoughts on it. Okay, so we'll start by just sharing our thoughts in general and then going through characters, like our favorite ones, what we thought of specific ones, and then maybe just a quick run through on OSTs since our most recent episode was on OSTs. And then we'll probably just give it like our recommendation rate, kinda. And then we'll go on with the later segment, the usual PLs in your area. Just before we start, I'm just going to quickly read the synopsis of the drama for those who haven't watched it yet. This is from My Drama List. So, the sons of two companies were engaged to each other. One doesn't want an arranged marriage, while the other wants to win him over. Meet Helian and Kua Kerati. A very short intro. Basically, the two of them have been in an arranged marriage, but that was organized by the grandfathers from both families since they were children. And then one kind of shows all of his adoration and love, I guess, and devotion to the other, while the other one is trying to prove himself to the family of the other because they're on the wealthier side, and then kind of forgets about him, but is not very vocal with his feelings. So the other one rebels, and then that's how the story starts. Okay, so do you want to start, Emma? What's your thoughts in general?
So my thoughts on Cutie Pie is the beginning was a good start. You've got the whole Helian and Nugua. You having the two main characters, and they're meant to be married at some point once they've finished school and work. And then you kind of have the progression of that. So that was a nice little storyline niche. It kind of went the whole way through. In terms of overall, for me, it was good, but it felt slow in some parts. I would say towards the last couple of episodes, the storyline felt very slow, and then kind of picked up 5 minutes and then slowed down again. I don't know. That was the feeling I got, and the character progression, it didn't feel like it won overall. I should say, in the girl's character, he was still immature and he still needed time to grow, and he grew a little bit, but it almost felt like there was no point in him growing because there was no win over the storyline in that sense. That's what I kind of got. But the drama it's a feel good drama, and it was not too stressful, and it had a lot of great moments in there. Especially there was one scene that we put onto our social media as well, where they were in the club, and you have Nugua and Helian and his other friends are out there as well, and they were mentioning about relationships between men and women and men in general, and it was kind of nice that they kind of touched on that in the whole. It's the 21st century. We don't need to be comparing our relationship to heterosexual relationships. It is what it is. If you're a man, you love each other, that's fine. If you're a woman and you love a man, again, it's fine. There should be no in between boundaries or any complications or anything. Love is love. There's no fixed gender to it. So that was nice that they kind of touched on that. Yeah, I think overall I enjoyed the drama. Yes, for what it was, I enjoyed it. That's my feeling towards it. Nilza?
I kind of thought similar. Yeah, literally, it was so exciting. I would say the first 5 episodes, they were really, really exciting, and we were all happy. And then as we got towards episode 10, I feel like from episode 10 all the way to actually, I would say 7, 8 towards 11-ish, there wasn't much progression. It was literally repetitive.
Exactly. Yeah,
there was a lot of repetition, or things weren't.
It felt regurgitated, like it was just going and repeating itself.
Exactly, and they felt like they had run out of ideas to make things move forward a bit.
Yeah,
which I actually thought they could have used to, like you said, help develop Nukua's character, which didn't happen. Like you said, overall, they talked about some sensitive issues. And in terms of visuals, the drama was perfect. The cast was all...
Oh yeah, they've done an amazing job.
Yeah, the
Amazing
cast were
job.
all visually pleasing, and their acting was good, and the cinematography was
Amazing,
everything beautifully done. It was all very romantic and loving. But yeah, once we get into like the nitty gritty of things, the fact that this whole drama started with Nukua's rebellion because he was not being heard or not treated like an adult, and so he wanted to prove
Exactly.
his point. At the end of the drama, that still hadn't changed so much that even towards the end, spoiler alert, those that haven't watched it yet, he was still not being told that his family was facing a financial crisis by his family members or even his fiance, because on one hand they didn't want to worry him, which I understand, but on another hand I feel like it might be just like a subconscious thing. They don't see him handling these kind of issues, so they just want him to stay happy and not worrying about the real things of the world.
Yeah.
And obviously that's from them. And then from his side, he started a rebellion, being rebellious and doing whatever he wanted and stopped pretending to be who he wasn't because he wanted to prove a point. But then towards the end, he was still hiding who he was. He wasn't being honest about his feeling.
Yeah.
He was honest towards the end, but he wasn't like, he just said what he was feeling. He didn't do anything that would give other people confidence that he could handle things or something like that. So I feel like, yeah, there were lots of lies, lots of like keeping facades from all of the characters. I think that the only ones that weren't the case, Sin, is it Sin?
Sin.
And yeah, like the friends in school, they kind of were true to who they were. Foei, I still don't know how to say his name properly. Foei, yeah. He's also very, very...
I loved his character in this though.
Exactly,
amazing character.
He stole the show in a lot of scenes.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
A lot of scenes. But yeah, all of that, keeping that facade towards the end, even with Hie and Kundiao as well.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the other thing that I didn't like is how, obviously, I know we started off with that parenting-like relationship with the two main couples, but I thought it would grow. Like the younger ones would kind of have a stand on their own. But I feel like even towards the end, it felt like here, Leon and here he were still seeing Kundiao and Nukua as more of like a parental figure kind of way, if you know what I mean.
Yes, more like they were trying to look after their child.
Exactly.
And they were the parents. So
exactly.
Hence why I mentioned that it felt like you had the two mature characters and then you had the two younger ones who were still in school. And their characters, both of them, though they have certain boundaries they put in place, it felt like they were still kids. And that they hadn't quite given them a level of being an adult. Or they didn't want to give them that level of being an adult. Because they didn't think they could handle it or step up to it or however you want to see it. But you can see it, that sense of I'm an adult and you're not, so I'm going to treat you that way because that's how I feel I see you, so I should treat you that way.
And even if there's an age gap, which was the case, you still need to treat the other person as a mature adult as well.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a two-way relationship, yet it felt like
it was a one-way
relationship that wasn't returned at all.
I guess Akondiao more so than Nukua towards the end was more independent because I mean, Kundiao can actually survive on its own.
Yeah.
Without here,
literally in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's pouring down outside our window right now, London weather. But yeah, so Kundiao towards the end, you can see that he could stand on his own. Because he could hold his ground even when he was open about teaching taekwondo, and he can cook for himself, he can earn his own money and take care of himself. The only reason he was staying at his house is because he doesn't want to be alone. But towards the end you have that sense that he can live on his own. Nukua, even to the last episode, I don't think he could survive on his own.
He couldn't
without his parents' money or Helia's money and someone take care of him. He can't even cook for himself. He can't even order. He's very good at ordering food, actually.
But that's the only thing he's good at, though. I mean, in his character, they could have given him more to do. He could have been like similar to Kondiao's character, but he wasn't, and he wasn't a self-sustained adult at all.
Other than school,
outside life or like home life, it didn't. There was no progression at all. It was just completely lackluster, I would say.
Exactly. And then the very positive thing, like you mentioned, is the emphasis they did on equal rights to love and having legal relationship that's viewed by the law as valid. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, yes, it's just a
It's
legal
illegal. Yeah,
binding marriage.
it's not even just a law because people still frown upon. So
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
so it's the acceptance and the legality of things, that emphasis they put in it. Even that big monologue that Nukua had towards the end, I think, like saying how he viewed marriage not only as, just reading the quote, we are all special in our own way, but love also needs effort. We have to adjust to each other. We have to learn from each other through our actions and words. Love is everything. I've said before that I believe in marriage. I thought I had to change myself for someone I love. Today I know that marriage is not the only thing I believe in. I also believe in love and acceptance of each other, kinda, and love for two people regardless of gender.
Yeah.
Exactly. So those emphasis, and like the example you mentioned earlier that we put on our socials as well, at the pub with Boone and Prem.
Yeah.
In their cameo, very nice one. So yeah, the emphasis they put throughout on that, and how that scene where Helian was in the meeting and they were using a caricature of what a trans person is for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
And how we called that out as well, which actually reminded me of something that I forgot to mention last episode where we talked about Love Stage, which is the remake of a Japanese drama for anyone who hasn't watched it, with Kauna and Turbo. And it was perfect, much better than the Japanese version in all sense. The only thing I didn't like about it was the fact that she wasn't even fat. She was just the only overweight person in the whole cast.
Yeah.
Was the character that we all would hate. But
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that they used someone in that sense. And literally all of the scenes that she would be in, she would always be eating or taking the fruit from her the actor she was managing, and saying that he's not allowed to eat, and that she would eat it all. So all of the actions in her character were things that they were forcing us to hate her based on the fact that she's overweight in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah.
And there were other characters that weren't as good also, but none of them were as bad pictured as she was. So yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about Cutie Pie. And yeah, so overall, it's a good watch. Obviously, you can't take it too deep,
seriously, or too deeply,
but yeah,
it's a good feel-good drama to watch. But yeah, I wouldn't take it seriously. It's a drama you take with a huge grain of salt, I would say.
All right, now in terms of characters, I think we touched base about it roughly.
Briefly, yeah.
But yeah, for me, Foei, his characters in all of the moments he appeared.
Literally, I agree with you on this. Like, hands down, he stole the show entirely.
Yeah.
Out of all the cast members, he stole the show.
And I also like the relationships between Sin and
I still can't think of his name. I can't think of his name.
Oh, let's Google. Oh my god, I feel sorry for them.
And I only watched it recently as well, and I can't think of his name for the life of me.
Sin and Nua.
That's his name.
So Tutor is Nua, and Sin is played by Ian. So yeah, I like their relationships. I just like Sin as a character. It was very like it's an unusual character. Someone that's over.
He was very proper, and someone who's probably ordained as a monk when he was younger.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of that teaching in him. So yeah, he's an unusual character, but he's also a character that he's a good energy.
The other character that how could I forget to mention? Jay, our one and only Perth.
Perth Nakun.
Literally, his character also like Sin or like Foei. Every time they were on the screen, you would see that they were there.
Oh yeah, I have to agree with your list. Mine would be probably pretty much the same. I mean, Foei for me though definitely stole the show for me. But yeah, the side characters you mentioned, like his friends, Nugua's friends, and then like Jay, and like everybody done a great job.
Okay, now finally OSTs.
As a whole, all the songs in the show were great. As a whole, they were all good. And even the remake version of Tilly Bird's song, Just Friends, that Nugua sings as Kirin.
Oh, okay. And I also like the one that he did for Proposal.
Yeah, but the Tilly Bird song, because it was a famous song in Thailand, so yeah, that song kind of struck out to me. And his version of it was so good, I actually played it on repeat continuously after that episode ended. But yeah, even the Proposal song, all of the songs that he'd done, as whether it was as Kirin or as himself, they're all great songs, and they're all very mellow. Some are upbeat, They were all nice. He has such a soothing sound, so they're all very nice to listen to, regardless of the mood that you're in.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was a good choice. The entire soundtrack. All right, finally, let's give it a rating let's say out of 10.
Yes, I think that would be fair. Out of
Would
10.
would you how much would you recommend, or would you rewatch it?
I think I would rewatch it, but more like in the background kind of thing. In terms of ratings, I'm going to kind of do this all in one go. In terms of rating out of 10, I mean, there's only nitpicky bits here and there. I would say 7 out of 10. Yeah, like there was a lot of good points about it, and it is a feel good drama. And yeah, like I said, it's not something to take seriously in the slightest. So yeah, it's a nice enough drama to watch whenever you feel like. So yeah, even in rainy British weather like this that we're having right now.
Exactly.
So yeah, 7 out of 10 is what I'll give it.
Yeah, I think so too. Like you said, I wouldn't rewatch it now. I'll probably rewatch it like maybe closer to the end of the year or even next year, and it would be kind of my background sound as I'm working of sorts. And then rate wise, I think I'll also give it 7 out of 10. I was going to be a bit more harsher and give it 6.5.
To be honest, even I was thinking that as well.
And then it brought us lots of great moments. And
exactly.
Even just for the production itself.
Yeah, like there was nothing about it you can fault on the production or the entirety of the cast.
So it was more like the script. So yeah, let's give it 7 out of 10. That's it.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched it yet, please do to give it a watch. It's on YouTube. It's free. So yeah, we shouldn't have any issues. Okay, now we'll move on to our final corner for today's episode, which is BLs in your area. All right, in this part, we'll just go through the BL dramas or movies that we're currently watching, what's in our pipeline for the future, and so on. Do you want to start first?
Okay, so in terms of what I'm watching at the moment, so I'm watching, it's on YouTube, this one. So this one's called Dear Doctor, I'm Coming for Soul. And I haven't watched the recent episode yet, as work's been quite crazy, so I've not had the chance to watch the recent episode that's come out. But having seen like little clips of it, it definitely looks like the storyline's starting to pick up a little bit more now. Yeah, I'll definitely say give it a watch. It's light-hearted in parts, and then there's serious in some parts as well. So I would say you are on the roller coaster of emotions in this show, as it is very up and down, up and down. But it's definitely a good drama. It's got a good storyline. It's not just fluff and being in a hospital and let's just throw everything that's good into it. No, it's very much real life. So that's what I'm watching at the moment. So that's one of them. The other one I'm watching, which is highly recommended, is Kim Posh. If you have not watched this, I won't stress this enough. Please, please, please watch it. I will put this as a disclaimer. Do not watch this with your parents.
And if you're under 16 as well, I wouldn't advise.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're under 16 and want to watch it, just bear in mind that it's mafia, raw, and the subworld kind of activities.
It's completely adult. There's nothing hindered in there. It will show you everything. There's nothing sugar coated or covered up like whatever. No, it's very raw. So yeah, if you are underage, please watch with caution. Though I would advise not to watch it if you are underage. So yes, I'm watching that at the moment, and we are currently on episode 7, I believe. Yeah, and it's getting extremely good so far. Storyline is very fast paced, I would say, compared to the novel. I know that Nils has recommended to me to watch Triage, which unfortunately is, though it's available on YouTube on AIS, it's only up for about 2 hours before it's pulled down. Probably contractual reasons or whatever. So I'm probably going to have to find a lovely website that has it. So that's on my recommended list. And there is another drama that's... What was the one you showed me the other day? The one with Fluke and...
it's their next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's Oh My Sunshine Night.
Yes. Did it give out a release date?
No.
Okay, so yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. Having seen the trailer for it, I'm looking forward to that. It does look very interesting, and it's nice that Fluke is doing a completely different character from what he done in his previous dramas. So yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. Yeah, Nilza?
Myself, I'm currently watching Kim Posh, Dear Doctor, Coming for Soul. I'm also watching Triage, like I showed you. I'm also watching quite a few on Kaka Ulala and on Viki. I'm watching Close Friends season 2 only because of Omen Fluke. And that's my candy. I don't know why. I know it's going to be a waste of my time by the time it ends, but I've started it. And I can't not watch it now towards the end. And I'm seriously starting to hate this trait of mine of not being able to just drop dramas, because I've watched two recently that I'm like, I'm just going to tell everyone, if you were thinking to watch it, just don't watch it. Just don't bother. And one of them is, what's the name? Oh, what's the name? Let me go. So one is Love Class. It's a Korean drama. I had so many hopes for it and it was disappointing. Literally, it felt
Oh,
like
dear.
nothing. Yeah, Love Class. And the other one is Oceans Like Me.
Oh no, and I thought it was going to be good. I mean,
I thought it was going to be.
like Holland being in it, and like
Yes.
I thought, like I had an expectation of it. Like I haven't watched it, and I thought it was going to be good.
And I just realized that I think my issue is Han Ki-chan, because even on Where Your Eyes Linger, his presence was the one that didn't feel good with me, because I felt like the other male lead did a good job and
Yeah.
then he wasn't responding to it. And then in this one, Ocean Like Me, I felt like, yeah, it was like everything was very robotic, I don't want to say, but it kind of felt like that for me. So I wasn't impressed. And again, I wish I hadn't watched it. But yeah, it was Holland's debut, so that's why I wanted to watch it. But if you're going to thinking of watching Love Classmate, just if you watch it, don't think of it as a BL. Just think of it as bromance drama, because yeah, there was no feels. I felt nothing. But yeah, I'm also watching Mr. Unlucky Has No Choice But to Kiss. It's a Japanese BL drama. It's kind of like Cherry Magic.
Okay.
I recommend this one. It's very cute. Also watching two Taiwanese, Plus and Minus, and the other one is DNA Says Love You. Also watching La Cuisine. And then
Oh yes, yeah,
I think you're also watching La Cuisine.
I am. Yeah.
And then I think that's about it in terms of looking forward to. So Sky in Your Heart. Oh, I'm also watching Star in My Mind, GMMTV drama with the one that I said I wasn't going to watch, but I started it. Yeah, so I'm also watching Star in My Mind, even though I told you I wasn't
Yeah,
going to watch
like
it.
I remember you saying it, and to be honest, even I was on the fence about it as well. It's all in the past,
Yeah.
yes, I agree, and people should just move on from it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little hard to get past
Yeah.
knowing that the actor said something like that.
And then there's going to be a follow up on it. Apparently, it came out very recently with the Pifa, which is the older brother of the other main lead in that drama, and it's going to be called Sky in Your Heart. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also watching What Does That Mean? That one is surprisingly turning out to be surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting it to be good, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's nothing extraordinary, but it's good enough and it's worth a watch. And then I'm also looking forward to All My Sunshine Nights, like Emma said, and that's about it. So
yes, I think we should wrap it up there.
Yeah.
It's been a good podcast. We've had a nice little chat. So yeah, that was our thoughts on Cutie Pie and our thoughts on dramas that we're currently watching and looking forward to. So
if you want to leave any comments, suggestions, share any thoughts, like unpopular thoughts on any of the dramas we mentioned, you can email them on to unniesbltalk@gmail.com. That's UNISBLtalk@gmail.com. You can leave comments or send us a DM as well on Twitter and Instagram. Messages on TikTok.
yes, please do.
Yeah, follow us. We're on BL Talk in all of those platforms, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.